all these people that just lost their home and lost all their belongings in LA have now just started to fight. So losing all their properties, losing all their stuff that you can't replace that has sentimental value, I'm so sorry for you. And my heart goes out to all of you guys. But now what's going to happen is the true fight's going to start now. Because as you're seeing up here is there are an estimated $50 billion worth of losses that need to be somehow recouped, rebuilt. And it is going to be really, really hard to get to these companies to get to pay out, right? So we're looking at California wildfire damages and economic losses estimated to be over $50 billion. So, and now I did a little digging and I was like, okay, there must be something. These insurance companies, I know that they did something right before that happened. And sure enough, thousands of Los Angeles homeowners were dropped by their insurance before the Palisade fire. So right before these fires started, these insurance said, nah, they're not going to renew right now. Sorry, wait a little bit, or oh, we're going to put it on pause. We'll look at it later on. And so, yeah, now your house burnt down and you didn't have any insurance. And this is the worst spot where you can be with no insurance and you just lost everything, right? And even though you might have had insurance, they're going to hire lawyers to fight you to say that you're not eligible and all these other things, because these adjusters are going to go out. These independent adjusters, just like in Florida, are going to go out and write up hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of claims, or in the millions, and then they're going to tell you, we're going to settle for $1 million. Your house costs $5 million to rebuild, we'll settle for $1 million right now, or take us to court and you don't see nothing in years. And so when you're going to rebuild your houses, what people aren't even talking about it is that California in general, LA even worse, has not enough housing anyway. So what is that going to do? There's all these rich people that just lost their house. So they're most likely not going to have an issue of renting a nice apartment or going somewhere else. So what does that do? That brings housing prices up even more, right? And while they're going to rebuild, and that's going to take some time, because check out this. To build a new house in LA, just the permitting process takes about a year. And now you're going to throw all these houses that were just lost with new permits. So you're going to have a huge backlog in permits. And now the California bureaucracy war is going to start, right? Because if you know California, it has to be this compliant, has to be that compliant. They're going to nitpick everything, and you're going to overwhelm the whole system because they made some of the most stupidest laws you'd ever believe, right? If there's a stupid law in California, it exists, right? So all these people that are going to try and rebuild their houses are going to face a whole bunch of difficulties. And I don't know what's actually worse, is losing everything or having years to recoup to where you were a few days ago, right? You were having a house, you were living in it, and your life was kind of going, and you were having fun, and you were doing good. And all of a sudden now, you're going to have to rebuild. And when you rebuild, and they're just going to throw stuff at you. They're just going to make you trip and fall. And, oh, we can't do this, you can't do that. Because there's not going to be a way where they're going to say, you know what? We're just going to issue your permits way, way quicker. And we're going to start hiring new permitting inspectors and all this other stuff to help you out. They're not going to do that. And we're going to save on costs. And we're going to, waive some of the fees to help you guys out. They're not going to do that. Because why would they, right? It's LA. It's California. They're going to come up with a whole bunch of new laws and a whole bunch of new things that's going to cost you so much more than it did before. And one of the things is that I've seen people, it's like, oh my gosh, cleaning up these fires and everything is so, cleaning up the woods, the forests, and all this kind of stuff is so expensive. And I said, yeah, but what's even more expensive is when people lose their houses and people lose everything. And so California, I took a screenshot of it right here. Cal Fire has one of the biggest aeronautical fleets in the world. So when you're looking at all these aviation equipment that they got, when you know that something's coming like that, you need to act. But guess where the mayor was? Was hanging out in Ghana. And she hasn't even commented on it. And there was this TikTok video where she was just hanging out and at the airport with a blank stare, like, when you catch a little kid doing something that shouldn't have done, and doesn't want an answer, and it just does something, and it just walks in her room or their room. Yeah. So let's watch a video actually of how the devastation actually is. But before we watch that video, please like and subscribe. Make videos like this all the time, and this doesn't cost you nothing. So hit that like and subscribe button. That would really help me out and help the channel grow. And I want to get to my goal of 20,000 by the end of the year. So please. So let's watch this video.
This stunning view takes you beyond the numbers and captures the absolute devastation from wildfires ravaging the Los Angeles area. Home after home after home, gone, with little left but the smoke rising from burned-out buildings. The ferocious winds that ignited 5 major fires were lighter on Thursday, but additional rounds of Santa Ana winds are possible from Thursday night into early next week, so the fire danger is not over. More than 2,000 structures have been destroyed, but that number is expected to increase. At least 5 people have died.
How sad when you have to look at all this devastation, and you look at your leadership. And the mayor of LA went to Ghana to do who knows what, and your city's in crisis. And now they're saying that, oh, we're going to have to vote differently and do all that. It's too late. You guys voted, and this is what happens. When you vote for just party rather than people, and this is what my deal was a long time ago, where I said on my live, like 4 or 5 days ago, where I said, if you just vote party over people, you're gonna buy your way on top of the ticket, right? Who knows what that mayor did in Ghana? Should be a federal investigation to see how can your city be under attack by wildfires and you're just jet setting around the world, and your city, your people that voted for you as a mayor. Yeah. And if I was the mayor of LA, this is what I would have done. I would have said, oh gosh, this is going to be bad. So I would have actually preemptively gotten all the units ready, all the fire things, say, hey, we're going to be on alert, because all these people that are going to, do the firefighting, they should be on standby, because it's easier to get rid of the fire when it's small, when it is blown out of proportion, right? So get ready and be ready and do an alert. But no, let's instead cut the fire department. They cut it like $18 million, right? And when you're looking at it, what the head person that was appointed, or I don't know if it was elected, was yapping about like a year or so ago, it's like, we need diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this is what we need. We need more women. We need more all these other people. It's like, no, this is not what we need. What we need is people to do firefighting. I don't care who it is, what they do. They need to come and do the job. And I feel like once your society reaches a certain level of accomplishment, where you have nice parks, where you have food, where you have status, where you can do whatever you want, you're starting to just come off topic and say, you know what, let's do a whole bunch of different things, and let's start divesting from actually the best person for the job to let's do DEI, right? And then all of a sudden you have stuff like that happening, and nobody's there to help them, because you're going to cut their budget by $20 million. And now there's billions of damages because you cut budgets. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. But the governor also was crying and has this $25 million fund to fight the incoming president, rather than just saying, you know what, we should probably do something about that. And the fires are getting worse, so we should probably learn from this and make sure that this doesn't happen. But yeah, it is absolutely crazy. And there's always people that are coming in and jumping in and protecting them and saying, that's not their fault that this isn't happening. It's like, how much rope do you want to give these people? How much rope are you going to give them and say, you know what, we're just going to take the blame away from them, and we're just going to say, it's just the world that we live in today, right? This fire, when it's a small fire, you can get it extinct. You can fight small fires, but when it's like hundreds of acres, you can't, and it just gets out of control. And so you just got to do the right thing. And when I'm looking at all these people online now saying that they lost everything, that their cars have been damaged, 2,000 structures been damaged, these people are gonna just start rebuilding. So it's gonna take them months to clean up the debris. It's gonna take them years to rebuild their house. And all of a sudden, it's gonna be, oh, insurance companies can't do it. Insurance companies can't file for bankruptcies, right? And all these other things are now coming to for light, where it's like, oh, we have, California has an insurance problem. It's like, it's made by us because we use money in the state of California that I used to live in to random items that we do not even agree with. And when I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast with Trump, like when he got elected, he was saying that that was exactly one of the problems. He's saying that we need to fix problems and work together, but some people are like, oh, when it comes to Trump, we're just not going to do nothing. And for me, I'm like, even if it was a Democratic mayor, you gotta know that people in your district voted for him. So people in your district that lost their house are gonna view you differently now. And people that have money, we're gonna see if they're gonna fund these elections differently, because if you're a millionaire and you got a 10, 8, $9 million house and it burnt down, you have money to give to political campaigns. And we're starting to see celebrities out of all turning on their leadership. Celebrities that were endorsing him and hanging out and were loving the leadership is starting to say, oh, it's been going into the wrong direction, and now we gotta dial it back. And so just don't let it go there. Vote in people that actually care. And I don't matter if it's blue or red. You just need to vote in people that actually care about their communities, that want to keep the crime out, that want to keep the wildfires out, that want to keep the area nice and livable. And if you're not having that, then you're just voting just to vote. You're gonna get these fires, these disasters. And it's absolutely devastating to see that all these people now, as soon as it's gonna be died, as soon as this news cycle's gonna turn and the smoke died down, it's gonna be cleanup. And and a lot of these houses won't be rebuilt anytime soon, because it's gonna take time. It's gonna take a lot of money, a lot of time, and lawyers are probably already ready taking lawsuits, and they're like, let's go against these insurance companies and trying to get some money out of them. So oh my goodness. And some of my viewers are saying that you guys, you had it coming with all these liberal policies, but I don't think it's necessarily liberal policies. I just think it's mismanagement on the elected people that just couldn't see it. They had their wrongful eyes set, and now they got what's coming to them. And in all my videos, all of my videos, I always say the tap comes due. The tap just comes due. If you always mistreat somebody, they'll bite. And now all of a sudden you saw that nature and all this other stuff just wasn't good, and it came and did you dirty. So now you got to learn from that. Either you walk away, you rebuild. Let me know if you're in that area what you're gonna do, because it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be draining. It's gonna be exhausting. Tears are gonna come, and people are gonna be upset. And one of the things for me is that when you have that much effort and you have that much in your livelihood and you lose it all, it does something to you. I think some part of you is gonna die inside of you. And I don't know if it's the trust in the government or in your party, or some part of you is gonna pass away, and a new you is gonna be born, because the old you that lived in that house isn't gonna be the same you. It's gonna be a new you. And I hope that new you can fulfill all their dreams, get all their stuff built back to where it was and even better. And I just really hope that you didn't lose any loved ones, that this didn't get you any long-lasting damages in your lungs with the fires, so that you can just restart and do one step at a time, right? That's where all these journeys starts. But this is Las Vegas, and look at how the wind is. I have a wind jacket on, And I don't know if you can see these with the palm trees. Let me show you the palm trees. And this is a day after. You can just see that the wind is just, they're moving, and it's just brutal. The wind is just going crazy. And yeah, that for fires, it's just crazy. So yeah, one step at a time, and hopefully you'll make it out better than you entered it. Maybe you'll get a good attorney and you'll get more for your house, or you rebuild, or it's time to say, you know what, it's a one chapter closed and new one's open, and I'll move and see what happens and start a new book, start a new chapter of your life, and start writing it, and yeah, and become a survivor, not a victim, right? And this is just kind of my 2 cents about it. This is at least how I would do it. You know, if I lost everything, that's kind of how I would talk about it, or saying, you know, do the best step forward and then just see what happens. And I know it's a lot of change coming, so we're gonna see. I'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, this is disastrous on all front, and we'll see if there's gonna be lawsuits. And people are like, Gavin Newsom should be sued. I think so too. And I don't even think that it's his responsibility because the state's so big. I think the LA mayor should be held accountable. But you know, the news cycle will turn. She'll do something else and they'll love her again. So this is my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. It's only one person on the internet. So let me know if you like this type of content. Please like and subscribe. And this is here from windy Las Vegas. And it's a gorgeous day out, but windy as hell. So that's why I have to wear my big jacket, my hat. And people were like, oh my gosh, you got a hair transplant. That's freaking funny. I wouldn't spend money on that. You should know me better. So I will talk to you in the next one.